So we live in the world and not of the world. And I didn't want to go by and seem like we're ignoring the world out there. Some tragic things have gone on this week, And I just want to acknowledge that causes a lot of pain in the conditional reality that we feel, whether it's by association or direct involvement in such tragedies. But the reality of where we are right now in the world is those tragedies can be picked on any given day of the week, and we can find a tragedy with which to relate. So I'm going to suggest a different thing. That in the mind of God, all things, sorry about that word, in the mind of infinite, invisible, all things are one. And it is the eternal source of life, which is coming forward in all of its expressions, giving us an opportunity to choose what we stand for. Not necessarily what we stand against, but what we stand for. It's something that Ernest Holmes said in his last sermon, which was called Sermon by the Sea, that give me somebody who stands for something and against nothing, which is a place of open heart and open mind and active intelligence in the world. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for a second. And just imagine the globe, the entirety of the human race on this little planet that we live on, the blue marble in the sky. And in your mind, just envelop the entire planet in a golden white, loving light. And hold that moment. Let the love flow through you from that cosmic intelligence to surround the entire world with love and understanding and compassion and wisdom. So I invite you to take a very deep breath. And as you release it with a sigh. You can remain holding that vision of love and light for the world in every moment as you go through. So come on back to the room and bring that love with you. We can do that in any moment of challenge, in any moment of apparent hurt. We can bring ourselves to a place of love and understanding by the activity of our mind, by the activity of what we choose to focus on. So we can focus on the hurt and the pain, or we can choose to focus on sending love and understanding and wisdom and not standing against something, for that which you resist will persist. And change our thinking to a higher level, to the higher frequency, and in fact bring it back to the truth of the love that underlies everything. That agape love of all life, of all being. And when we bring that to mind, that's what we raise up in the world. That's how we get from this place of confusion and chaos, which all you have to do is turn on the TV or the internet to watch in depth, to a place of unity and peace and harmony and moving forward in love and creativity. So I just wanted to take that moment and acknowledge that we can rise above this. It does not mean that pain does not exist and that insanity does not occasionally evidence itself in greater and smaller ways. It means that we have the opportunity to be the love that we wish to see in its place, so that we can raise humanity up, so that we can raise our fellow hurt and damaged and despairing souls into the awareness of a love that is present and embodied in each one of us. Healing is the revealing of a truth. This is a basic tenet of New Thought. It is not that there is actually anything to heal, because in the infinite wholeness of spirit, there can be nothing to be healed because it's all one. What is healed is our understanding that there is some form of opposition to this idea of love and unity that resides in our minds. And by removing it from our minds, we individually experience more love and harmony and peace. So the truth that we are revealing in each moment is that we are one. That we are one with the infinite, that we are channels of the divine spirit when we allow that glorious light to shine, and we get to experience more truth at a deep level. Has anybody ever experienced something that they knew to be true without a doubt? Ever? Once in your life? Sometime? Where something just seemed to be so innately right that there was no question of its authenticity. And so that's what metaphysics is. It's this exploration of what is the truth back of the condition that we experience. And so I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes. It's all one. It's the truth of wholeness despite our apparent experience of separateness. So, as Reverend Bill was saying, we were just out at the Affiliated New Thought Network conference, and we did a lot of fun stuff, and a lot of beautifully deep, wonderful stuff. And one of the presenters was Pam Grout, who wrote E Squared and then E Cubed. Anybody know about these books? If you don't, go look them up immediately. They are scientific experiments that prove our unity in a scientific manner. One of those was this. Okay? So I'm going to ask everybody to stand up. You're going to have to create a circle for this. I'm sorry.
He's instructing us to do
one end of it, just one end of it on the silver thing. Okay. Okay. You saw me hold that up, right? Right. And so what this does is this lets you know that there's human electric power by actually using the connection of the human power to complete the circuit. So if you'll hold one of that. Everybody grab a hand with the person next to you. Oh. Okay, you got it? Notice? Thank you. See that? So when I'm not holding the circles closed, there's no circuit. Oh wait, somebody's holding the circuit open. Okay, I invite one more person. Take your hand off. Put your hand back. Okay. You can sit down. True. It's still one.
Wow.
So when we look for things that actually verify that we're all connected somehow, we can start finding them even in the scientific nature of the world. So for those of you who are scientifically minded, I invite you to get Pam Grout's book, E Squared, and then follow it up with Pam Grout's book, E Cubed, which are like, the first one is like 9 wonderful real-life experiments that you can do to help yourself understand that we are one. It's all really great stuff. So today's talk is about healing mind. And what the idea of healing mind is, we've always said in New Thought that healing is the revealing of the truth. And what we do with practical prayer is to bring ourselves to an understanding of a truth that already exists. Right? And the part of it that really is functional is when we'll start a prayer by recognizing what that infinite, invisible is. It is all one. It is everywhere. It is omnipotent. I love that word. Omnipotent. Omniscient. Right? Omnipresent. I love the omnis. It's really got Michael Beckwith added omniactive. And what that really means is it's everything, all-knowing, everywhere, always, and always active. Right? Those are the omnis. And when we really think about this presence being everywhere, always, it can't be and I say this all the time, so those of you who know me are going to go, oh, not again. It cannot be everywhere except the 3 feet around you. It's everywhere. It's the life that wells up within you. It is the consciousness in your mind that is creating the life that we experience. So a practical prayer goes by first recognizing that which is true. So there are really only 5 areas to do this in. Health, that's our personal experience of health in the world. Wealth, that's our abundance idea of the world. Creativity and creative expression, that's how we express in the world. It could be your work. It could be, your art, whatever your creative expression is. Relationship, that's how we deal with the others of us who seem to be separate, but we just proved are all one, right? And our spiritual awareness. These are the areas that we are unifying with. It's real easy to look at that wholeness of infinite, invisible, and say, that's part of this too, right? And then here's where the healing comes in. Because that's everywhere present, I must be some part of that as well. All of that is present within me. And when we clear our minds away, it almost, when we state after that the affirmation that we wish to experience, it's almost irrelevant. Because it was God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Not part of it. The whole of it. The whole of it. All of the good that you can have is now present right now. That's a pretty powerful thing. I don't even know where to put all this stuff. It's like, where am I storing all of the good? I guess I better call extra space. Hi, could you give me 6 or 7 buildings? I got a lot of good that I need to store. But the healing happens as soon as we recognize that we are one with this infinite intelligence. That this allness of love, that all of the love that is present right where I am right now. And not just for me, but for everyone. This is the healing mind. When we actually get into the space of that understanding, that complete awareness, that knowing that you know, that this is truth for you in this moment, the healing is accomplished because you have revealed for your own consciousness the truth of what you're about to claim. It's already done. The claiming is just your specific use of it. And this is the wonderful thing. So, we go around saying affirmations without doing affirmative prayers, right? We do that. We try to affirm our good. Or not. Anybody have any difficulty with negative affirmations?
No difficulty, they're easy.
Until now. So as we weed out those negative affirmations and replace them with positive affirmations, that's all good. It's training our mind to think positively. It's training our awareness onto the good that is available in each moment. And it takes some training to do, honestly, because we get a lot of backlash of people who want us to think about all of the bad stuff so that we'll buy cold flu season stuff, right, and everything else. But in that unification, we have already accomplished the healing, the revealing of the truth. Now I'm going to tell you the one thing that creates the problem with this kind of healing. The problem is that the mind cannot heal what the heart will not allow. Dang. So we can wander around and talk all day long about positive affirmations, but if in your heart what you are saying is, yeah, but, you are contradicting your own nature. And this is the house divided against itself. When the mind keeps insisting on something, yet the heart wants to dwell in anger and fear and hatred and all of its lesser forms, like sarcasm, rats, or whatever we want to do that is expressing that lack of unity and love, is blocking our healing and revealing of the truth of who we are. Now, this is why we say it's simple but not easy. Right? I could say a couple of names here, and I bet you with at least 2 or 3 people in the room would automatically feel some agitation. perhaps political figures. Left, right, or center, take your pick. We're apolitical here. Right? We're talking about the truth. And the truth is every one of those political figures, which we may like to rail against, is also the whole and complete expression of the divine embodied perfectly. Oh, really? Oh, there goes my heart again, not wanting to believe that. So how can I reveal a wholeness if what I want to do is rail against somebody for what the belief that they are standing for? So once again, go back to this. Stand for something and against nothing. That seems kind of hard to do, you know. So I can say, I stand for peace. I stand for love. I stand for a rational, reasonable, humane, just, and equitable society. I stand for that. That's not in an opposite. People may see that as in opposition to what they. But would you really want to be claiming the opposite of that? That's what you stand for? That's what your heart wants to put your energy and love into? Think about it. If we can bring ourselves to a place of understanding of the wholeness in our minds, and then do all of the work that is required, our meditations to find peace, our affirmations to find joy, our expressions of love and commitment to our friends and family and to those that bring us joy, and just in their very presence. If we can bring our heart to actually feel the same level of love that we do in those situations for all things, that's when the world changes. That's when we heal and reveal the truth of who we actually are. We can do it individually, and I invite us to try to do that collectively, to heal what we see as a separation, to be part of that. And I'm going to say this, and it's kind of a cliffhanger, right? It requires forgiveness. The cliffhanger is, come to the class in a couple of weeks. We can work on developing that forgiveness practice that allows us to be in the world standing for something and against nothing. To be the representatives of peace, harmony, abundance, joy, love, and prosperity that we wish to experience for ourselves and which we truly wish everyone else to experience. Because I'm not talking about being greedy, right? I'm talking about spreading and sharing the love that we all deep in our hearts want to receive. And for us to receive it, I'm going to tell you the truth, we got to be it. So I invite you to go out there and remember that without all of us in a circle, the electricity does not flow. The current is not present. It is broken. So find some place where you can make the connection. Where you can get that little of joy. Peace and blessings. Be well in your day.